que é, pessoal? Bem-vindos novamente ao Underground's Voice ao vivo. Hoje tenho o prazer de receber um dos meus guitarristas favoritos, um excelente guitarrista, o Gus Drax. Man, once again, thank you so much for being here. It's a huge honor for me to talk to you again. And you know, I love your work, so it's amazing for me to talk to you again. Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. The pleasure is all mine, and thank you for your hospitality and for having me here. It's a really pleasure.
Well, Sunburst will release the new album Manifesto on June 14, and I'm sure it's good to be back after a long time without any release. We'll talk about that below, but first, how do you feel about being back, and what can you expect about this new album?
Well, both me and all the guys in the band feel absolutely great that we can finally get the album released. It's been a long time, and we know that, but with many ups and downs. We worked very, very hard on the new album, and it's great to finally see it being released, and especially when we started releasing, the singles, it felt so amazing that after many years we finally released new music.
Yeah.
And if you asked me this question before the first single release, I would probably answer differently, that I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Not that I actually expect something right now. You cannot expect specific things. But there was a lot of, and there is a lot of excitement about the new album and the new music, and especially with the singles. So I just want, wish, and expect why not an even bigger impact than our first record, like our second record, to go even better than the first one, and just to grow as a band and people to love what we do. That's what we want. Now, in terms of numbers, I don't know, but you can never expect exactly these things.
You guys already released 2 singles, All Lies, which is easily one of the best songs of the year, in my opinion. And from the cradle to the grave, do you think that they're the best representation of what the album is?
No, absolutely not. I know it's not the probably the answer that most people would expect in such a question, especially for the singles of the album. But actually, I had this conversation earlier with a friend of mine, and what I can say about the album is, no matter which 3 songs you're going to pick as singles, because we're going to have another single as well. You cannot make the album justice, because the way the album is written is that we have 8 different songs, and of course there are some similar, let's say, some similar maybe ideas, or not ideas, like some stuff that it's, of course, the album of a band, but we have 8 different songs with different styles and different things in them. So no matter which combination of 3 songs you would do, you wouldn't make the album justice. The only way to make the album justice is by listening to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because each song has its own identity. And it's also the music business and how the world is actually listening to music right now that pretty much also, gave a little bit of, let's say, an impact of which songs can become singles, because we have some longer songs in the album, like we have 8-minute songs, which pretty much by definition you cannot do singles for. So we have 2 or 3 songs that cannot make singles because they are longer than what you should do. Even though we are a progressive band and longer songs are, let's say, we are allowed to write longer songs and present them, but still, let's say, Hollow Lies and from the Cradle to the Grave were the most, let's say, like the shortest and the most song, like typical songs, let's say. The other songs are more progressive, and we go and do some different things, and there is a little bit more adventure in them, which is great for the album. But it was very, very difficult to be picked as single.
Yeah, yeah. And all of you in the band are very talented on your respective instruments, and you show that in your songs, in these singles, for example, with all your technique, well-crafted riffs, great drums as well. But in my opinion, this happens in the instrumental part of the songs, because when Vasily's voice enters, when his voice come in, everything becomes more simpler, I think, and all the emphasis is given to his voice. Does it make sense?
Yes, absolutely, and you got it nailed. Because when we write music, well, I come most with most. I'm coming up with most of the music, so I have Vasilis in mind in most of the cases. Like that, I'm writing music for a singer. A singer must sing something here. So when I know that I'm writing an instrumental part of the song, then I feel, let's say, not completely free, but I feel free to do more experimentation and more technical stuff, and let's try this and this and that and do something, more tricky, let's say. But when I know that, okay, now it's a singing part, then let's say we step back a little bit, so help Vasilis to shine through the song. We have an excellent singer, in my opinion, so
World class, world
we
class.
try to build the songs this way to help him shine through the songs.
He's a world class singer.
Yeah, thank you. I do believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So 8 years passed between the release of the first and this new album. Why did it guys take so long?
Well, this is a question that has like many things like that played a role in there. Obviously, the pandemic pretty much affected everyone, a little or a lot, no matter what, it affected you. So it affected us as well, and made a little bit every procedure of the album to take a little bit longer. For example, the drums, believe it or not, the drums were recorded during the pandemic, actually, which was very difficult. We had to book the studio, and we had to find a date that you need to do that. My guitars were partly recorded also in the pandemic, which was also like I had to travel through these conditions to go to the studio that I was recording, and so on and so forth. So things like that, they actually affected, and they charged us, let's say, with time. Also, there is one more band that me and Vasilis play together in, which is called Black Fate. So the first album of Sunburst was released in 2016, and I gradually came up with songs for Sunburst #2. But with Black Fate as well in the picture, we also released an album in 2020, which, of course, it doesn't. I know it doesn't write Sunburst in the artwork outside, but it's something that me and Vasilis were working together. So I know it's 8 years, but for me and Vasilis was 8 years of non-stop working in new music, no matter what the title was. So it was like, Sunburst had 8 years to release a record, but me and Vasilis were a little bit more occupied, let's say. And me as a guitar player and as a person, I would say I can work on different things at the same time, because it's something that I think it's personality based as well. And as you know, I'm also a member of Suicidal Angels, so I can actually do different things at the same time, and manage that. But Vasilis, as a person, doesn't like to work on two things at the same time.
Yeah.
He wants to focus on one, and I totally respect that. And of course, that again charges a little bit more time. So, Black Fate, pandemic, music business 2024 that everything takes more. Like, for example, a lot of people don't know that there is a problem with vinyl production right now. You need to wait more time for that to happen. So when you're releasing a record, you need to take that into consideration so that you are safe, that in the release date, you will have vinyls and CDs actually available for people to buy. So all of this just ended up, charging us with more time.
Yeah. But the truth is that the fact that so much time passed between both albums made them sound very different from each other. The first one is like more power metal,
Yes.
more traditional metal, if you can say so. And the new album is more progressive, is more aggressive, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Was this change intentional, or did it just come naturally with your evolution as musicians?
Actually, a little bit of both. Um, when we finished the songwriting process of the first album, Fragments of Creation, and then we started playing shows for it, we immediately found out what we like more in the album, let's say, and what the people also enjoy in the album. Thankfully, it was actually mutual. Both parties enjoyed the same stuff mostly. So we kept those things as identity, like some the heavy parts and the proggy parts that we had on the first album. So these are, let's say, our first identity stuff that we had in the picture, and that we decided to go for that, like and also to enhance them, to enhance those, let's say, ingredients, and to add more in there. One very, very specific thought that we had was that we will definitely go more progressive on the second album, and that we will probably reduce a little bit the power metal thing. And I think that we probably completely vanished it, that there is no power metal in the second album. Not that we have anything against power metal, we love power metal, but we just went to the progressive direction this time. Other than that, that was like where the intentional part ends pretty much, because other than that, we just take it as it comes. Like, the song itself dictates on what we should do. If the simple thing works better for the song, we will go for the simple thing. If the song asks for more, something trickier, more complicated and stuff, we will go for it. So it's a little bit of both, like I
Yeah.
said.
Yeah. So can we opt for a little show here in Portugal?
I would love to. We would love to come to Portugal, and not only Portugal, like everywhere, like everywhere that and everyone that would like to see Sunburst, we would love to come there and play, and we intend to play as many shows as possible.
Yeah, we're looking forward for that. Um, as you said before, you also play in Suicidal Angels and Black Fate. Um,
Mhm.
you already said it is not so hard to manage and to have
Mhm.
time to dedicate 100% to Sunburst, to Suicidal Angels, and Black Fate.
Yeah.
But it's also possible to do it with three bands. Like Suicidal Angels
Well,
is a really active band.
yes. Well, the thing is that if you ask me for super active bands, it's impossible.
Yeah,
If I had three bands that were as active as Suicidal Angel would probably be impossible, yes. But Black Fate is not an active band at all live. We don't play shows. And with Sunburst on the first record, we did some shows, but it was not that many that I couldn't actually juggle between the two bands.
yeah,
Now, with two bands like that, I can totally do it with good scheduling. And, for example, if we have a tour with Suicidal Angel coming up, we don't learn about it the previous week, as you understand. Like, we learn about it and we schedule it months before that.
yeah.
So I can actually make plans for Sunburst and anything else actually that I want to work on, sorry, pretty much easily and manage that.
Okay, perfect. And finally, once again, thank you so much for being here. huge honor for me
Thank
to talk to you again, once again. So any last words for the Portuguese fans?
Actually, we love Portugal. We love every time that we come to your beautiful country. We can't wait to come there again, both with Sunburst and Suicidal Angels. We're really sorry that we had to postpone those shows. Unfortunately, it was health related, so I'm sure that our Portuguese fans are, they understand this. But we are definitely looking forward to come to your beautiful country again, and of course to see you, my friend, again in person.
I'll
So
be
thank you
there for
very much
sure.
for everything.
Thank you so much. And Malta, Gus Drax, Sunburst Underground's Voice, mantenham-se atentos nas voltas.
Highway